Hello, this is my Ignatian Contemplation on Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 to 56. So we start off with Judas confronting the chief priests and elders in regards to his 30 silvers that he had just received after betraying Jesus Christ. And so we start off with envisioning Jesus Christ as being fettered by and being held captive by the very people that he was trying to save. These people want to testify against him so that he dies for his insolence. And then we move on to the confrontation of Judas with the chief priests and elders. The entire atmosphere, I believe it as more or less like a courtroom. Maybe a church. Let's go for a church. It has the atmosphere of wisdom, atmosphere of tranquility. Maybe sometimes feeling a bit tense, And the chief priests and elders themselves have an air of wisdom, have an aura of superiority, and a stature worthy of respect. However, even though, in regards to this, right, even though the people, the chief priests and elders look like they are wise, God would approve more, would love, would appreciate, would love, would approve more of Judas, even though Judas betrayed Jesus Christ. This is because Judas is actually trying to reconcile with his sins. He's actually trying to redeem himself of his sins. He tries by throwing down the very reward he received after he betrayed his best friend. He throws it down. He refuses it, and leaves the chief elders and chief priests and elders, and hangs himself, just to try to redeem himself of the sin he had committed. And yet, what do the chief priests and elders do? They do nothing. They do not try to redeem of themselves of their sin of murdering a person. Okay, let's just say that Jesus Christ was not the Son of God. The chief priests and elders still would have killed a person. And yet they do not do anything to atone for that. They know very well, they planned very well that they would punish Jesus Christ and kill him. And yet they don't do anything to reconcile with their sins. They just take the money. Yeah, sure, they don't put it in the treasury because it's blood money. And they use that money to buy a cemetery for foreigners. So what? I don't think that is enough to redeem themselves of their sin. And so now we move on and see Jesus Christ before Pilate, the governor. The atmosphere is that of a courtroom. It's cold, it is tense, and yet at the same time it is filled with passion. It's more warm. Of course, yes, the room would be warm because there are more people in the room to testify against Jesus Christ. And yet you can feel it inside of you that the people before Pilate the governor, they have very strong emotions about Jesus Christ, as they are convinced by the chief priests and elders that Jesus Christ is to be crucified. Now, there is another man named Barabbas, I think Barabbas, and people choose Jesus Barabbas, to be free of being a prisoner. He is to be set free instead of Jesus Christ being set free. I think they chose Barabbas to be set free because I think Barabbas is a man of action. He is a rebel. He actually kills and fights for his people, and yet you see Jesus Christ just being tranquil. He doesn't do anything to defend himself. He doesn't do anything, even though he's the Son of God, he doesn't do anything to free himself of, of, his, of his captivity by the very people he's trying to save. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't retire back. He doesn't even speak after the chief priests and elders testify against him. They imagine, I think, Jesus Christ as a coward, as a wimp. So they picked Barabbas over Jesus Christ so that they respect, so that there's actual action. They think violence would create more of an effect rather than pacifism. They value aggravation rather than compassion. That's why I think they chose Barabbas. Now, Pilate, the governor, I think he is more of a wimp than Jesus Christ. He sees Jesus Christ in my contemplation. He sees Jesus Christ as an innocent man, and yet he is pressured by the public to not go with his assumptions. He thinks that Jesus Christ is an innocent man. That's why he washes his hands and say that he is free of the innocent blood of Jesus Christ, and that the audience is at fault. He washes his hands because he knows that Jesus Christ is innocent. And yet his weak morality, his wimpiness, gets the better of him and sends Jesus Christ to his crucifixion. Now Jesus Christ is holdover, is moved over, is being held captive by Roman soldiers to start his crucifixion. The Roman soldiers that are in the command of Pilate, the governor. Let us enter the mind of a Roman soldier doing this. I take thorns created as a crown. I put it on Jesus's head. Then my friend takes a fellow Roman soldier takes a staff. Another Roman soldier takes a robe and puts it on Jesus Christ, and the other Roman soldier gives the staff to Jesus Christ. I imagine myself spinning at him and I spit on Jesus Christ. I bowed to Jesus Christ mockingly, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews." Now, as a Roman soldier, I think, superiority. I feel that I am more powerful than Jesus Christ. I just spat on a man and mocked him without getting any punishment. I feel powerful. And yet, somewhere deep inside me, I feel shame. I feel shame of what I have done. I feel deep inside me that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. So I continue forth. I take Jesus Christ outside. I take him to start his crucifixion. I carry his cross, but I felt tired. I didn't want to carry his cross. So I find a man named Simon from Cyrene. I give him the cross. I give him the cross. And now let's move on. Let's move to Simon from Cyrene's point of view. We enter his mind. I feel that the atmosphere that I am in with Jesus Christ is full of emotion, full of screaming there. And I think that the people are being misled by the chief priests and elders. So, because people are more likely to follow superiority than themselves. So, I imagine the people being misled by sin. But that's what I feel, not Simon from Cyrene. Simon, I see him as suffering from, as Jesus Christ. Envision Simon from Cyrene looking at Jesus' face, seeing how much he is suffering, and I suffer with him. And now I see, let's exit Simon from Cyrene's vision now, and now we see Jesus Christ being his 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 clothes now being ripped, being divided from and distributed from casting lots. And someone tries to give, a Roman soldier gives him his wine, and the moment that Jesus Christ drinks it, he doesn't want to drink it again. I can tell that Jesus Christ is suffering. We can tell that Jesus Christ is thirsty. He wanted to have a drink. He drank the wine, and yet he can't drink it anymore because it is mixed in with gall. I just wish that Jesus Christ was actually given something appropriate, actual wine that he loved, that he likes, before his death. Yet he was robbed of that. Now, I see now that Jesus Christ is crucified on the cross, and I see people insulting him. Not just the people like passing, right? Like as said from the verses, people pass him and insult him. I also envision that the rebels themselves that are crucified with Jesus Christ, that they insult him as well. You can see that Jesus Christ is forsaken. He seems defeated. He seems forsaken. He is the Son of God, and yet he's defeated. And so, as Jesus Christ says, "Why have you forsaken me, Lord?" and gives up his spirit, I feel that the land itself, because it is now afternoon, that the land itself is more dark, it is more cold, it is more, although there are so many people around us, I feel that the environment has become cold. People still start to mock him in this coldness. And Jesus Christ is approaching his death. The people do not mind. They keep on insulting him. But in this coldness, I envision that the people are beginning to feel more ashamed. That from the hot passion of the morning, before the afternoon, in the hot passion of the morning, they were so filled with anger and maybe hatred against Jesus Christ. But maybe in this coldness, they start to feel a sense of shame, if not just a bit. And as Jesus Christ dies on the cross, his spirit is given, and the ground starts to rumble, and we enter the mind of the centurion. I see that the ground has crumbled, and I see people that have been resurrected. People that have been resurrected from the dead, and they meet other people. Other people see this resurrection. I can now say, as the centurion that was guarding Jesus Christ's crucifixion, I can now say that instead of being filled with passion, I am now filled with fear and shame. And I cry out, surely Jesus must have been the Son of God. Now I can feel the air being more cold. We have just witnessed a miracle. And this miracle is an absolute proof that Jesus Christ was the Son of God. I can feel now that, as a collective, that the people are scared, they fear now God's power, the miracle that he just brought upon us. And yet, I think this power added is the exact power that Jesus holds. And therefore, the people would necessarily also now feel more shamed because they've actually killed. I shouldn't say that. I think they're more afraid, not shamed. We're more afraid of God's power. And as the environment grows cold, Jesus dies on the cross.